Hey, hi, in this video, we're going to see how to use Amazon Q service, which is acting as a generative AI assistant for work. So in this video, we're going to show you how the Amazon Q enables us to increase the productivity at enterprise. And we also try to mimic how that Amazon Q can be, used to help your workers or to help your professionals who are working in the IT, and eventually you're going to see that there is an increase in the productivity, right? So Amazon Q is a service which is basically released or released in the last AWS reinvent. I feel this is a very very knowledgeable tool. So basically this tool can be can be tailored or customized according to your enterprise data. With that enterprise data, this generative AI or this Amazon QI gets a knowledge in a such a way that it will try to solve your problem. In the sense, it will try to answer your questions, like how you are asking your questions in the chat GPT, right? So similarly, you can ask the questions in terms of the data that is being fed by fed with the data belongs to your enterprise. In the sense, you would be training this Amazon Q with your enterprise data, and then when it is trained, your workers or your IT professionals can take advantage of those knowledge and try to solve their problems. In the sense, that will actually help them to ease their job, basically. Yeah. So for example, say there is a IT engineer, basically a cloud engineer working on certain VM patching, right? So in that case, he don't know what to do, what is this, how the VM patching workflow is being set up. In that case, for example, say if you have created an Amazon Q service application, and that application is being trained with the set of data, that is how your VM patching solution is being designed, how it has been configured. If you can feed this Amazon Q, then automatically the another engineer, okay, so who is working in the same environment, can take a utilization of that. In the sense, he don't need to come back and ask the questions. He can ask the question directly to the Amazon Q, and Amazon Q will be able to answer you. Okay, so that is how the powerful it is. So basically, this has been recently introduced. So in this video, what you use, I'm going to walk you through the further more details about Amazon Q, right? So as you see here, currently we are in Amazon Q page, which is actually been marked as a preview because it is recently released. So as I said, this is a generative AI powered assistant designed for the work, and that can be tailored according to the any enterprise businesses. Okay, so here if we go down and see the benefits, okay, so basic benefit, as I explained earlier, engages in conversation to solve the problem, generate the content, and take the answers. Basically, it will help you to help your query. In the sense, when we work in an IT environment or in big enterprises, always there need to be collaborations. Okay, so and that collaboration lead to a certain delay, which will eventually impact your productivity, right? So in such cases, those thin layer, those gaps can be solved by this this Amazon queues potentially. Okay, and understands your company information, code, and systems. In the sense, that's what I said, this is a generative AI utility that needs to be educated, that needs to be fed with a certain data. Then this Amazon Q service becomes intelligent enough to answer your all your queries. It is just like chat GPT, right? I mean, chat GPT, in the sense, it is not a ready made to be consumed, but you need to use your own data, train it, and then use it like that. Yeah. Then personalizes the interactions based on your role and permissions. Yeah, this is the very important fact, in the sense, like let's say you have we have created a service called Amazon Q, application called Amazon Q, and you have fed with all type of data. All right, but certain information is to be related to a particular role. In the sense, you have a manager, you have an engineer, you have an architect, right? So these are all different roles, right? And you also have a CEO, you have a CT, right? So these roles also need to be segregated. In the sense, the information that is pertaining to a particular role, that that kind of information will be given to the only those kind of roles. In the sense, here we have we have a RBAC as well. In the sense, we have a role based access as well. In the sense, the information that Amazon Q can give back is can also be controlled with the your role as well. Okay, that is also an additional benefit here. And built with the secure. In the sense, yeah, by default any services in AWS are incorporated with the secure and privately. Yeah. All right, so that is what the basic, very basic information about Amazon Q. Now I will take you to the real time execution. Okay, so here what I do is I'm going to touch base upon how to use Amazon Q services, just to mimic the the scenario, like how an engineer, how this Amazon Q service can enable an enterprise to solve their problems, in the sense to solve their problem and eventually increase the the productivity. Yeah. All right, so here what I do is I'm in Amazon Q, so you can go to the search button and type for Amazon Q. So you will see this Amazon Q. If you click on that, it will take you to the a particular page like this. So currently I'm in Amazon Q. Okay, so in that one you need to go to the three bars option. Click on applications, in the sense you are actually creating an applications of Amazon Q. So when you say applications of Amazon Q, in the sense we need to create an workspace here. Basically, there is an option called create workspace. Click on that, and what I do is I'm going to give some meaningful names, right? So for example, say I know developer help. I'll just call it developer help too. I'm just creating an application called developer help. So as the name says, developer help, this applications is an instance of generative AI, right? And that is made up out of Amazon Q. So this application has to be trained with a set of data that is required for developers day-to-day work, right? We will see what are those. I'm just going to mimic the same scenario with an example. So here let's give an application name something like this, and here choose the method as it is, right? And the rest all options, I'm going to click on a create. Rest all I'm going to just keep on a default, right? And one more thing is, so it will take a few seconds. Once it is created, it will take us to the next option, that is select retriever and connect a data source. As I said, an instance of Amazon Q application that I'm creating in this demo is nothing but it's a hollow one. It does not has any data. It has a brain, but the brain needs to be filled with the knowledge, right? So then only then only he can speak, right? So that knowledge is nothing but data source. You need to feed this application instance with the data, and that data is nothing but belongs to your company, belongs to your enterprise. Okay, and then this Amazon Q service becomes very intelligent, and that endpoint, the sense that applications can be accessed by various engineers who are working in that particular role, and they can take a help of out of it. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So in the retriever, we have a use native retrievers, we have a use existing retrievers. Okay, there are multiple options, but use native retrievers are a very efficient one. You can use it. So indexing provisioning, so these are like you can keep it in a more details. Just explore the Amazon Q documents and you're going to understand what are these. And then rest all option, I'm going to keep it default. Okay, let's go to the next option, that is the next option. I'm just click on next button. So here connected to a data source. Okay, as I said, so if you are trying to just create this without a data source, nothing but this application is not going to usable. This Amazon Q application is not at all usable. It does not has any knowledge. Yeah. So you need to make it knowledgeable. So how do you make it knowledgeable? Use your enterprise KBs, knowledge database. Yeah, this is basically KB is nothing but knowledge database. Yeah, so you need to use that knowledge bank, train it, and then that could be that training. That kind of training could be making this application trained by with your knowledge base. I know that the actually the output of that is nothing but your engineers who are actually working in the organization, who are about to come and work in your organizations, take a help out of it. Yeah, that is what will be the that is what I see an immediate advantages of this application. Okay, so for now, let me just quickly walk you through the data set. You see that sample data set. You can also connect a data set from the S3 bucket as well. Okay, so you see that a sample data, you can also upload a sample data here, like by clicking on this one. Yeah, but for now, let's go with the other approaches which I have already continue adding. So just go back. Yeah, so just back to the back. Okay, I'm gonna cancel it now. Sorry, I need to click on the add data source. Yeah, so here you go. We are on the connect data source. Here there are multiple options saying, like, popular one is you can upload the data from the S3 bucket web crawler, or you can use the local. For example, say you have a CSV file which contains the data saying, like, who is your. So for example, scenario is that you have a team of 25 people. In that one, you don't know who are that, right? Who is that member, what he is doing, what so that kind of data you can keep it in a CSV file, just upload it here. This becomes trained, in the sense this Amazon Q application becomes trained. The another engineer who is sitting or who is about to come into your organization and work can just query it instead of asking the member to member. In the sense, the application becomes a point of contact for you to get all the knowledges of your enterprise. Okay, that's what I see the advantages. I'm just taking in a very ground level use cases, but there are like n number of use cases, right? N number of use cases at n number of multiple roles belongs to your organizations, right? All right, so for example, I'm just going to show you like how you can integrate and with the S3 bucket, right? So here we can choose an IAM role, for example, say create new recommended one. Then the role number is this one. So we can browse the S3 bucket. So I have an S3 bucket. So in that S3 bucket, I have kept a CSV file, which I'm going to show you now. So you can upload the file something like this. Yeah. Full sync mode, you can choose this one. Frequency is nothing but run on demand. Yeah. All right. So click on this create add data source, which actually adds a data source. So I'm just going to say like, so you also need to, it's just like, you are actually have a knowledge base. Okay, so you can tell like in an S3 bucket, say like, you are keeping a data of your organizations. In an S3 bucket, you are keeping the data of your particular applications. In a particular S3 bucket, right, you are keeping the data of your source code. Okay, so something like that. Okay, you can actually, you need to annotate the data sources. Okay, say like here, just say like a test data source. Yeah. So basically, your data has to be very refined. Clean data makes makes this Amazon application or Amazon Q applications very intelligent. So as just by just adding that tag, I'm just going to add the data source, which actually what happens is it's gonna create a IAM role. It's gonna sync the data present in that particular S3 buckets, which S3 bucket which I'm gonna show you here. So this is the S3 bucket which I'm gonna open it in the another tab. So basically, we are using that as a data source, and currently it is creating an application with using that. So here, if I go to this S3 bucket, you have the test report .csv file, which is nothing but it has a data in the form. This is a CSV file. It has some column names. You see, these are the column names, and these are all dummy data. Yeah. So we're gonna see that how this Amazon Q application gets trained automatically and helps you to solve the particular problems. Okay. In this is a demo. That's the reason I'm just mimicking it. I'm not going in a very deeper manner. To go to the deeper manner, you need to have further requirements, which I'm going to show you right away. All right, looks like it has done. I'm gonna, so not only that, I'm gonna, so you see that we have created an instance of application from Amazon Q, and the name of my application is develop help, right? And for now, we have added a data source which is from S3 bucket, right? All right, so there are like likewise there are n number of data source could be added as a source of knowledge here. So as I said, most popular are from the S3 bucket. You see that there are lots of other options. There are options from the cloud, in the sense if you have a data source or if you have a knowledge bank, which is our knowledge base sitting in the cloud, you can also import from there. It does provides multiple other interfaces. You see that it provides a box, Confluence. You can use GitHub, you can use Gmail, you can use Google Drive, Teams applications, Yammer, right? So there are so many cloud applications could be used as a source of data to train this application, which could be used by the another roles which are playing a role in your company, yeah, or in your enterprise. Right, then go to the on-premises. Not only cloud, it also supports a particular on-premises applications as well. So on-premises applications, it includes, these are all the applications. You see that Zendesk, PostgreSQL, these are nothing but your databases. Yeah. So basically, so when you are working, in the sense when a particular developer is working on an application, or a particular developer is working on a particular business case, a project manager is dealing with a particular a project. Okay, everybody who works in an organization needs a knowledge, needs the information. Okay, and currently that information, the source of information is currently till now today was like documents, people, right? Or say like there could be anything, documents, database, blah blah things. There are so many where are like a kind of a conventional source of information to do the work. But now you have a single point of, now the chances are there that this Amazon Q can become a single source of information that the peoples who are working in enterprise can rely on. Okay, so that is how this tool has a capability all about. Okay, so we go to the on premises. Okay, so likewise you can integrate the how I'm showed the Amazon S3 bucket. Likewise you can integrate the other data sources as well. Okay, now let's go to the application that we created called developer help. So this is our developer help application. So you can go back again and click on the applications. Currently it is in preview mode, which is nothing but it is AWS is trying to evaluate how does the user experience is all about. and they try to solve the problems during this phase, during the preview phase. If there are any problem, they have the AWS has a chance to solve those problems. Okay, they would like to hear you from your side as well, right? All right, so creation of an application is not enough. We need to deploy web experience. In the sense, I need to convert this into, in the sense, this is just an, in the sense, we have created a generative AI application now. That generative AI application, to make it consumable, we need to make it as a web application, right? For example, say ChatGPT in the back end, it is a machine learning big model. In the sense, it is just like an intelligent chatbot, but that intelligent chatbot is been equipped with front end, but nothing but a page, that is a web page, through which user can log in and try to ask the questions. It will try to answer. Okay, something same experience can also be done by the Amazon Q on your applications. To do that, you can click on a web, deploy web applications. So currently it will ask you for the choose the authorizations. Okay, note that so since this is Amazon Q and it is only meant for high level enterprise grade, basically it's for enterprises who actually has their own IDP, and they have their own SSO setup, they have their own SAML authentication setup. So such cases, so in such cases it is possible to deploy an applications. Okay, so here it is mandatory to have an IDP, then only you can deploy an application. That's what I see here. Without that, currently it does not support. Okay, which I think that maybe AWS tomorrow they might gonna change the another options. In the sense, if you don't have IDP, you can still deploy an application and make it accessible through the users present in the AWS account. That is a possibility, but it gonna come in above. But for now, they think that this Amazon Q application is meant for big size enterprises, and big size enterprises have their own IDP. Let's make them applicable, and let's make them accessible over the SSO only. And that's the reason it shows you configure your IDP. And then once your IDP is been configured, you will get a metadata. You need to upload the metadata and provide the attributes here and click on a deploy. It will try to deploy an application. It will expose, in the sense, this the Amazon Q application gets exposed over the particular web app, and from the web app you can try to see the experience. Okay, so now I cannot show that because I don't have any IDP systems that I can configure and deploy an application for now, but I can try to mimic the scenarios with using preview web experience. Okay, if you click on a preview web experience, so this is how your web experience will be once this application is deployed with using your IDP, right? So this is how the interface will look like. Okay, this is awesome, right? For example, say I'm an engineer, I'm an architect, I'm an developer. Okay, so what I do is I need to get some data to perform my job. I will be given with this interface, and a role is assigned within on this interface. Now I just have to question. I just have to ask the questions to Amazon Q, right? And automatically it will give me the answers. That is cool, right? That is actually very cool. Okay, so earlier in traditional days, we would be assigned with a hell lot of documents. We will be assigned with a buddy who is never going to help us, right? And so there is no, basically there will be a collective knowledge sharing sessions will be happening, but there are, like, those are like very 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 basically bifurcated, or lots of human problems, right? But now you don't have that. This is that barrier is removed. You can directly jump and ask the question and try to do your job. Okay, that's what it happens now. What I do is I will just ask questions like how are you. I'm just trying to see how does this behave. Let's see whether it's gonna reply to the what does it reply. So, okay, let's see. I'm just saying how are you. It says thank you, I'm doing. So basically this Amazon Q generative AI tool, it has a basic intelligence to respond to certain information. But so you see that I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I'm Amazon Q, an AI assistant created by Amazon Web Services. How can I help you, right? So I will tell what is today's date. Yeah, what is today's date. So these are all the information that you don't need to ask your colleagues when you are working, but this is in a very generic information. So basically why I'm asking these kind of questions in this preview experience is that I just wanted to get you confident that yes, this is a chatbot kind of thing. Yeah, or basically it's an intelligent chatbot tailored for particular enterprise. Okay, so let me ask more details. Get me more details about my org. If I ask this question, it will not answer. Why? Because basically I have not trained this an application with the required data. You see that I'm afraid that I don't have a details of your organizations. Okay, but to mimic that scenario, what I do is I'm gonna feed this with a an example data which I already have. Okay, so what I do is I'm gonna, before I show you this, so currently I have integrated with the S3 bucket, but the S3 integration with the S3 bucket will not still not work, because to make that working I have to deploy the application. Okay, that's the reason it is not working. So for now what I do is I have downloaded one example file called CSV file. So this is a CSV file, is nothing but this is my application data. This is my application database storage. What I do is I'm gonna upload this into that particular application and try to ask more details about this particular application. Okay, particular user. Okay, let's see. So what I do is I'm gonna train that generative AI, in the sense I'm gonna upload this data into the generative AI and ask a questions about the data. Yeah, ask a questions belongs to that particular data set. Okay, so what I do is I'm gonna go to downloads, select this CSV file, and what you do is you're gonna ask here saying like give more details about email this way. So if I type this question, what it does is it is actually reading, it is actually going through a result.csv file, it is getting executed itself, and it is actually giving me the response. You see that the email is belongs to this guy and from the Uganda, in the sense his place is from the Uganda, according to the results, in the sense according to this database it got some knowledge, in the sense it got the knowledge saying like hey, there is, these are the datas. I know he works as an administrative privilege, a professional at Uganda communications. Okay, you see that how intelligent this Amazon Q is all about. Yeah, all right. So basically so likewise you can ask many other questions. Okay, so tell me, I will tell me, explain me EC2 instance. I will just ask, explain me more about EC2. I'm just asking very generic, general knowledge questions about AWS. Okay, so I'm just asking basically explain me more about EC2. Right, so let's see how does it responds. Explain me more about EC2. Let me see if it can answer. Okay, so basically you see that I'm sorry, I could not find the relevant data. Okay, so what I mean to say is that so this result.csv is an example of knowledge base, right? That you could train this application, that is Amazon Q application, and make your engineer enabled with the lots of information, so that they can do their work very effective way, and they become more productive here. Okay, all right, so with that note, I have shown you the things need to be shown in this video. Finally, a kind request, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. With that note, thank you, thanks a lot, and see you in the next video.